I don't have a fancy put together video for you guys today, and I know it's been so long since I put out another video, but I have a message to share, and I think it's going to be valuable. Maybe you're wondering why I'm only milking with one hand. This new thing is making my knuckles sore, and then my goat actually bit my middle finger yesterday too, so my hands are sore. So I'm just milking with one hand today, but made me think of just a lot of, I guess, the lessons and stuff that I feel like God's been teaching me and my husband lately. We got goats for the first time 2 years ago, and decided that my daughter decided that she wants to start showing goats. So she did her first year showing, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And one day my church was having a revival, I guess you could call it. I always forget what it's actually called, but basically there's a sermon every night for a week. And at that sermon, I didn't audibly hear God say move, but the word move was clearly put in my mind with peace. So I thought to myself, we need to move. So me and my husband prayed about it, thought about it, and we thought we heard God right with up and moving our house. So we're like, okay, we need to sell our goats, we need to sell our cow, we need to sell all these things, so it just makes it an easier move. Sold our horses. But as we were looking, it became more and more clear. There was just so much, not confusion with it, but there was this, what I would say is like, I don't know, it wasn't the confusion or the uncertainty, not uncertainty, but just, I don't know if I really have a word for it. It's just a feeling that we had in our spirit, I guess, that was like, do we move? So we started praying about, do we move? There was one morning where I was standing at my dishwasher and kept asking, in my spirit, those little prayers that you have with God when you're not sure what to do. Just those conversations that you have all day long, type of thing. And I'm like, God, do we move? And then the word Selah came into my mind, and I'm learning that's how God talks to me, is words. And Selah means to sit and meditate and think, and just to pause and breathe, just a moment of quietude, just kind of for clarity is how I understand it. Okay. Why did that pop in my head? I was thinking, and then it was later that day, is God wasn't telling us to physically move our home. He was telling us to move and take action. There's been things that me and my husband have thought about and talked about and ruminated on and sat and gone back and forth on for a long time. And when I heard God tell me move at that revival, it wasn't moving. Wasn't moving my house. It was to move, to do the thing that He has called me and my husband to do. So, my husband came home from work that day and explained to him, what had come to my mind. And we were standing on our grass, and I just remember, as we were having this conversation, this peace that came over us of not moving, but moving intentionally for God, doing the thing that He's called us to do. And we just had peace with it. And I'll never forget that same night. This was in January, I want to say. Right now it's middle of April. So in January, same night, we found a mouse infestation in our house. And where we live, we live in the country. Mice are common. But we found a mouse infestation in our kids' room, and we found the reason, the culprit wise, because they snuck food in their room, and there was food underneath mattresses and on the floor and under beds and stuff. But it was hard because the whole time we stayed up and cleaned and scrubbed and washed and threw things away clear to 1 o'clock midnight area. And I was thinking about it. I'm we say that we want to stay. God's you're gonna stay, and then we say we're gonna stay, and then this happens. And it's is that a sign that we're not supposed to stay? And I don't think it was. I think it was more a distraction, which, there is choices that kids made that caused it, but still God works. So we cleaned that up, and I think it was that same week my daughter got the flu. We all got sick. I got sick, the flu, and then week after, because we were painting and remodeling everything to move. We were in the stages of almost posting our house on sites, whatever, for sale. So we were just finishing painting our room, and we moved our big bed that is so heavy, so we never hardly ever move it. But we moved our bed, and behind the bed we saw mold on the walls, and this was the second time it's happened. So I'm okay, let's pull back open up the walls and see what's going on. Well, we found mold and moisture back there. The gentleman that built our house built another thing incorrectly and caused moisture to come up. And if you don't know my story, we bought our house without foundation or certificate of occupancy. A lot of people miss a lot of things. So again, me and my husband were what's going on? He had to go back to work that night, and this peace came over me of, if that would have stayed and we would have lived in it, it could have made us sick. And if we would have sold our house, we could have maybe possibly been sued for it. So God was just protecting us. And it's I don't know, because that same night that we decided that we were going to stay, my daughter had came and sat on the couch and flipped open her Bible, and what she pointed to said 1,000 goats. This is a long story. But we got, like I said, we got our first goats 2 years ago. And after we got that okay of staying, and then God's silly humor of 1,000 goats, because he knows we love them and we missed our goats so much. So much. It wasn't shortly after the house issues that we had found that we still have to fix. My husband let me go pick out 2 goats for Valentine's Day. And then our herd grew from 0 to 25 in 2 months. And in those 2 months of having these goats, all of the learning opportunities and character building and character growth that has come with it has been, not gonna lie, a lot. But every time something has come up that is hard and uncomfortable, that makes us really tired and exhausts us, I just know that it's God telling us, where I need to take you, you have to know these things. And it's uncomfortable and hard, and I'm stretching you right now. And the olive press is tough. But the oils that I'm going to produce from you in this stretching and pressing and refining are for a reason. So while my head hurts, going roundabout, I know there's a purpose in the uncomfortable and the hard. It's producing perseverance in me and my husband. God's testing how bad we do want this dream that we do have, but he's also given us. So while this might be difficult, I'm uncomfortable because this hand's now starting to cramp. I know there's a reason for it. This is the longest video ever, and I'm so sorry. But I just want to say, if you are searching for growth and you're doing the will of God and you're doing the things that God has placed in your heart and you've prayed about and thought about, and it's hard, I want to promise you that perseverance and that growth and the hardships is producing a good thing in you. There's a purpose in it, and God has a purpose for it. And just hang on, because you see all these people, you see people's highlight reels. You see the easy things that they put online for their dreams and their growth and things like that. And you think, whoa, this hardship's coming up. Is this something that I'm even supposed to be doing? Yes, absolutely. Because you cannot become the same person. You cannot be the same person that you need to be where God's trying to take you. There is lessons and things that you have to learn, knowledge that you need, and wisdom, perseverance and patience, and all those things in order to be where God wants you to be. He is a good, loving Father, and he's not ever going to just toss you into a position unprepared. He's preparing you. So these hardships that come up, this knowledge, I want to challenge you to have a gratitude for it. Even though it's hard sometimes. And I know it. But it's worth it. And you can still have gratitude in the tears and the hard times and the exhaustion. I know that God is right there with you, and have peace with that. So, even though my hands hurt, I have a gratitude for it. If I didn't have her and all the goats that I have that are bottle babies that I had to buy her for, I wouldn't have sat down today and had this message to share to you. So, I have gratitude in the hard times and the challenges because there's a reason for them.